Hey guys, Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, many things to mention because we go behind the scenes of the last transfer window. We enter into details of new movements, and so guys, ready, let's jump into it together. And here we are guys, ready to update you on several situations, to bring you behind the scenes of several situations, and I wanted to start with Antony, because Antony is one of the big names we had in the final days of the transfer window, moving to Betis, but Antony in an interview confirmed something that I can confirm to you, that there was a call coming in the final, very final hours of the summer transfer window from Germany, and that call was from FC Bayern. Yes, because Bayern asked about the situation of Antony. Let's put it into context. Bayern were waiting to clarify the situation of Nicolas Jackson. The priority, and this is important to mention, for Bayern has always been to sign Nicolas Jackson. But while the Nicolas Jackson was not off, not collapsed, but on hold, in that moment, Bayern called some other players to try and understand if there was a chance to sign another one in case Chelsea really wanted to get back Nicolas Jackson. They made a call for Antony to understand the situation with Betis. How is the deal? Can we eventually do a loan with an obligation to buy? So they were interested in the situation of Antony. Never a permanent transfer, and Betis did a permanent transfer, but they were interested on initial loan, maybe with an option to buy, to become obligation. They asked about the situation of Antony. The answer from the player side was very clear. Thank you, but the focus for Antony was always to go to Betis and to play on a regular basis. Also because for Bayern was just a backup. Bayern never made a bid for Antony, that's important to clarify. It was just a call to understand if there was the possibility to consider Antony, as we mentioned also Lookman, these players as potential backup. But then, when they had the feeling that the Nicolas Jackson deal was happening, just changing some conditions, Bayern decided to proceed with that one as absolute priority. And also, for Antony, Betis was always the top priority. He wants to play on regular basis. He wants to feel as an important player. It's a World Cup season. For Man United, is fixed money because, and this is another story, let's clarify the real transfer fee for Antony to Betis from Manchester United. 22 million euros guaranteed. 3 million euros in add-ons, and 50% sell-on clause on the future profit. What does it mean, guys? It doesn't mean that Manchester United will receive 50% of the future transfer of Antony, but it's on the profit. So basically, Manchester United will make 50% of any profit Betis will make on their 25 million euros. So that is the point. The profit Betis will make on the 25 million euros, 50% of that will go in the future to Manchester United. And this is the club-to-club agreement for Antony. Wanted to explain something more on Manchester United, guys, and this regarding Morten Hjulmand. Because we mentioned several midfielders. We said about Conrad Harder. Man United tried before the end of the summer transfer window, but Atletico Madrid said no. You can find that story here on the channel. But I also wanted to mention for Manchester United Morten Hjulmand, because one of the names they had in their list, and they had several meetings to understand the situation of that player, was for Morten Hjulmand. For sure, the situation of Hjulmand was never easy, but Manchester United were informed over the summer about Hjulmand, a player well known by Ruben Amorim, different skills compared, for example, to Baleba, to Gallagher, but still a very interesting midfielder for Man United. That option was never advanced for one reason, that Sporting, after selling Victor Gyökeres to Arsenal, didn't want to sell any other crucial piece of their squad to any other club. So this is why for Hjulmand, for Man United, it was not even possible to start a real negotiation. He was in the list of Juventus, he was in the list of Man United, several clubs interested, but never really advanced because of that reason, because Sporting didn't want to lose Morten Hjulmand, considered as a really important player. Then, for the future, let's see, because he's still a player appreciated by Ruben Amorim, let's see what kind of situation he will have at the club, but for sure, Hjulmand's situation was like this over the summer transfer window. And then, guys, I wanted to explain something also regarding Liverpool and Chelsea. For Liverpool, similar as what they did with Jarell Kansa, who went to Bayer Leverkusen with a buyback clause worth over 60 million euros, so almost double of the current deal of what they received, from Bayer Leverkusen for Jarell Kansa. It's important to mention also another thing. For Harvey Elliott, sold to Aston Villa for £35 million on deadline day, also in this case, Liverpool have included a buyback clause. So Liverpool can bring the player back in the future. They always wanted to maintain this kind of control, even when they were talking with Leipzig. Even when they were talking with other clubs, they always mentioned a buyback clause for Harvey Elliott. It was considered a priority by Liverpool director Richard Hughes, who wanted to keep control on the player, who wanted to keep monitoring these talents, Kansas, Elliott, not to lose control on important players with important potential. So Elliott wanted to play more. Obviously, at Liverpool, there is not a lot of space, and this is why this was probably the best solution for all parties involved. Aston Villa are very happy with Harvey Elliott, considered as a really important player and perfect for what they wanted. They were trying to sign Lucas Paquetá, but West Ham, let's say, at the very end of the negotiation, decided to take the player out of the market, and so Paquetá ended up staying. But then, for Harvey Elliott, for Villa, very good business, very happy, and for Liverpool also, because they will have a buyback clause. And let's close, guys, also mentioning the situation of Conrad Harder. Because many of you are asking me, but it's true that Conrad Harder was an option for Chelsea, he rejected this and that. So guys, Conrad Harder had a special summer. He had the possibility to go to Milan. The deal didn't happen for the player because Milan agreed the deal with Sporting. He had the possibility to go to Chelsea because Chelsea inquired about the situation of Conrad Harder. They never made any bid. They just inquired about the situation of Conrad Harder. One of the options being considered. Then very quickly Chelsea decided to go for Marguiu as an ideal solution rather than spending money on another striker in the final days of the window. But I can tell you, on the situation of Conrad Harder, that Chelsea were exploring this possibility, but the player never considered that kind of option. It's important to clarify, guys, never sent a bid, never started a negotiation, similar to Antony. It's not that Antony rejected Bayern or Harder rejected Chelsea. It's that those players were not considering that kind of move as a priority because they want to play. So also Harder was not considered that move as a priority because when Delap will be back, Harder feels that he was going to be on the bench for a long time. And so he was not keen on that kind of move. He wants to play. He already was Sporting with Viktor Gyökeres in front of him. And so you can imagine with not so much space for the season. So he wanted to play. He's young. He wants to develop. And this was the mission. So the clear message coming from Harder camp was like, okay, he wants to go to Leipzig because there, Šeško left, Openda left, Xavi Simons left. There is space to play, space to have opportunities, and so the player wanted to go there to be a regular starter and to have the opportunity to play week in, week out. So that was the mission, and this is why Harder is not at Chelsea, and this is why Harder is at Red Bull Leipzig, hoping to be the next big thing coming out of the Red Bull group. After many strikers in the recent years, from Haaland to Šeško and many others, Harder made this decision. And so guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories, from Elliott to Yulman to Antony to Conrad Harder, always many background stories here on our channel. I will have more to share very soon, so stay tuned here on the channel. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.